Hi friends, welcome to my channel Tell a Tale. Friends, here I will tell you motivational, inspirational and wonderful tales which will not only inspire you, rather they will teach you how to fight with the situation. Never say no, never give up. So you can say that through my channel I am building fighters. Another thing, through my stories, friends, I would like to kill two birds with one stone. How? I'll tell you. I will tell my tales in a very simple English, which will help the learners to understand and grab the vocabulary, syntax, expression, and will help them to improve their spoken English as well. So it is good that through listening the story, you will improve your English as well. Friends, I am an English teacher since last 16 years, and I kept on telling my children that if you want to improve your English, there are four major aspects. First is reading, next is writing, then comes speaking, and then comes listening. Friends, but the problem is this, that reading, when do you have time to read? And if you can't read a lot, if you are not an avid reader, how would you write properly? And then comes speaking. You have no confidence. You have not read anything. You have not written anything. Whenever you speak, you feel people will laugh at me. What do the people will think about me? Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, right? So there comes the fourth aspect, listening, right sir? Here you please pay attention what I'm going to say. Listening is such an aspect where another person is involved, right? He will speak and you have to listen, meaning you have to listen a lot. How much you will listen, that much you learn. Friends, let me be that other person of your life. So I hope that through my stories, you will not only listen, you will improve your English as well. So let's start with today's session. Today I am going to tell you an interesting tale. Yeah. So friends, today I am going to tell you a story of a person who always wanted to become an author. He wanted to see himself an established author in his life. When he was 20, he was ready with his first book. And when he had written it, he thought that yes, his dream is very near. But friends, when he went to his publishers, for his shock, they told him that his stuff is not up to the mark. But he was not ready for this. He had never expected such reply from them. They said that this stuff needs some improvement, this, that. He came back. He was not disappointed at all. He was very passionate about writing. Very soon he was ready with his second book. When he was satisfied with his work this time, he went to the publishers. But friends, you know, their answer was the same. They said, no way. You are amateur. Your work will never connect to the readers. You need to work hard. We can't publish your stuff. That man came back and he thought, where is he going wrong? But friends, let me tell you, he was not disheartened. He was all set to give a third try. He was writing his third book. And this time he was more enthusiastic, keen, and took full precaution while writing. And he was very soon ready with his third book. And with much conviction, he went to the publishers, and publishers kept the book, and they said that they will inform him after going through the book. So He left his papers there and waited for their answer. But friends, their answer was still negative, very negative. And this time, this person, he thought that maybe it is his fortune and he is trying at the wrong place. He discussed the whole scenario with his parents. Then his parents explained him. They said that, child, you give full try to your passion, and your for writing your passion is true, right? But the thing is that it's a high time to understand this call, that maybe you are not meant for this profession, so better you take some job. Man agreed, because of course he was exhausting with his money, because publishing a book, it takes money, friends. Already he had exhausted all his resources, so he took a job. Now he's a banker. He focused on his job, and job was his priority. But the writer in him was still there. So in his free time, he started writing again. And very soon, friends, he was ready with his fourth book. And almost in the gap of 2 years, he was ready with his fourth book, and he went there to the publishers, and they took some. He went to the publishers. They took some time, and then they informed him. They informed him like that you need to think differently. Then the things will be possible. He took their ideas and did some practice, thought differently, and started writing his fifth book. See the patience. When it happens, when you have a true passion for anything, he wanted to prove the world that his passion is correct. But let me tell you, he was not doing any injustice to his job of a bank. He was doing that. And when he was ready with his fifth book, he was very much sure that now he can set that milestone and he will fulfill his dream of becoming an author. But when he went to the publisher after publisher, he had to go because none of them were ready to publish his book. So what to do now? He thought that I must move on in his life. Now he is a married person. So of course 1 year, 2 years passed. When his wife comes to know that he had a passion for writing, she encouraged him to write, give a second try, give some more try. With the encouragement of his wife, he started writing. He was very soon ready with his next book. So he thought that he had done full justice with his book, and definitely this time will be his time. And he took his time. First he analyzed his papers. He thought, yes, he had done everything. He had done all his spade work, preparation, and he had thought differently. He had tried to connect with the readers also, but destiny had decided something else for him, which he was unaware, and very soon the disappointment and the gloom was his future, because again he had faced a big no from his publishers. He was total loss. He thought that what to do. He told his wife never say him to write again. He said that very difficult it is to face this failure now. His spouse, means his wife, also thought that maybe she's wrong, right? Suddenly, while turning the leaves, he was a good reader, he was a avid reader, he was reading. Very soon, it clicked to his mind that yes, गिरते हैं सहसवार ही मैदान जंग में, वो तिल्फ क्या गिरे जो घुटनों के बल चले. And he thought that how he could be so meek, how he could be so weak. Why not to write more, write differently, write something else, right? So just to satisfy the author in him, he wrote again. So in this way, just to satisfy the author in him, he kept on writing. And you know, friends, because he had a true passion for writing, so he never bothered about his failures, and he kept on writing. And let me tell you, in totality, he wrote 9 unsuccessful books which had never been published at all. With these failures, he turned into a more mature person. His life, and the years rolled on. Now he has everything in his life, but he has not one thing which he wanted to be. One day he was sitting in his lounge when his 12-year son, a young lad, came into his room. In his lounge where he was sitting, he said that, "Dad, while going through some old papers, I come across to this file. And Dad, when I read it, it is marvelous." He said, "What is it, son?" When he saw, then it occurred to him, this was his 10th book of fiction which he had left incomplete and never wrote since last 2 years. He had not even touched. He said, "Son, keep it there. It was once upon a time I felt like writing." His son said, "No, Dad. When I was reading it, I felt it is too good. And I can't stop reading it, but unfortunately it is not completed. I request you to please complete it." Father said, "No, child. You may like, I may like, but the people, the world does not like." The son requested him that you please complete this for my sake. He completed it. Within few days, he completed that book. Now the son was highly impressed. He said, "Dad, you go and check out your publishers. They will definitely publish this time." He said then, "No, child, I don't have any courage to face those failures again. Somehow I had taken care of myself." But because of son's repeated pressure, he went there and he handed over those papers to his publishers and forgot, because he knew their answer. So years and months passed. One day his wife came with one phone call and they wanted to talk to him. When he received the phone call, let me tell you, friends, that was the turning point in his life. It was the phone call of one of his publishers who was interested in publishing his book, and he was calling him in his office. The man went to his office. That publisher praised him. He said that it is wonderful work of art. What a thought, what a plot, and the twinning of the characters, rise and fall of actions. He was so happy. He was so happy to listen to these words from him. He said that, "Are you going to publish my book?" They said yes, and 1,000 copies in one lot. He was so happy. They handed him his first check of life. Let me tell you, friends, as a banker, he had earned a lot. He's a successful person as a banker. But this check was his first, which has really satisfied him as a person. He was so happy to see his first book published, his thoughts published, his names written there. And let me tell you one very interesting thing, friends. Listen to me carefully. That when his first book published, it became a bestseller, means one of the most sold book of the year. It became the bestseller. Not only this, when the readers, they read this book, they wanted to read something more, and at that time those publishers, they were ready to publish his previous 9 books. And let me tell you, his not only 10th book, all his 9 previous books were a great hit. So you know what happened? What happened in his case? You know what? We should learn it. One thing, that we should never give up. Other thing, having the true passion. Correct passion is always paid. And the most important thing, that a right action at a right moment hits that success. So you should never give up. Right moment could be any time. Before I end up this session, let me tell you one secret. This story is a very famous story of a very famous author. So as I was telling you, this story is a real story of a very famous author. I only changed the gender. This story of a very famous, you must be knowing, the author of Harry Potter series, J.K. Rowling. Yes, this is the story I had taken from her life, right? And you know, rest is history, how much she had earned the success in her life. So friends, through my story, I wanted to tell you that the moment could be any. If your passion is correct, you can go for it. Anytime, any moment could be yours. Before I end up, friends, I would like to tell you that if you would have liked my story, don't forget to press the like button and don't forget to subscribe my channel to have the further notification in the future. Let me tell you, very soon I will be back with my another very beautiful story. Till then, bye and see you soon. Bye.